again. I'm back with another one of my little book reviews. This time it's yet another horror story because I like horror, usually. This one is Douglas Clegg's The Halloween Man, which I mostly got because it was on sale really cheap on the Kindle last week. It's the first Douglas Clegg novel I've read, though I do have one of his others in paperback that I picked up at a used bookstore, so I'll probably read that one sooner or later. Probably later. General plot of this one is it starts off with this man kidnapping a kid from a religious cult, and they view the kid as their prophet, and he seems to have some kind of supernatural powers, and he's taking the kid across the country to the town where the man grew up. And then we get into a big flashback where we see the story of the man when he was 15, and he's leading an ordinary sort of 15-year-old life, where nothing much seems to happen until he gets a girlfriend who's apparently really beautiful, and eventually he knocks her up. And then things more or less continue on in what seems like an ordinary teenage drama sort of thing. And then eventually, finally, it gets to some sort of supernatural horror-y stuff. And I'll give you a reading from the beginning of the book so you can see about the writing style. You can't ever take this back. The kidnapper heard the voice in his head. You can't ever undo this. You must now follow it through, what you've started. You must now take it to its logical conclusion. Try not to picture what you're going to have to do to the kid. The only emotion the man felt was an identifiable revulsion, not even fear, for an adrenaline rush overcame his cowardice. His sweat had dried up. His body no longer trembled with the knowledge of what he had to do. It was no longer a plan or a plot. It was an action, in fact. Yet he had to have control over himself, or he would lose it. He might just go over the edge, and then all that he'd worked so hard to keep in place for so many years, the lurker beneath his own skin, all would run wild. But a place could have an aura, this one did, and it was the aura that caused his revulsion, an aura of darkness, and it was almost like a physical heaviness to the place. A halo of nightmare all around the periphery. He'd do right by the world if he poured kerosene at its edges and torched the whole place. And the dozen or so people sleeping there, the rapturous they called themselves. But for people of God, they had quite an arsenal stored out in New Mexico. The feds were already surrounding their Quonset huts just outside of Las Cruces, out in the dusty hills, ready for a showdown, at least according to the media. But the Raptors had pockets all over the United States and parts of Central America. They were a big family of loons whose religious zeal tended towards forming militias and announcing messiahs with every change of weather. This enclave, small as it was and apparently as harmless, contained the only messiah that the man wanted, the boy they called Shiloh, or prophet. You know, if you might have gotten the general idea from the plot summary that I gave that I really didn't like this book that much. And if you did get that idea, you would be right. I mean, it starts out okay. The kidnapping is, and the cross-country stuff is kind of interesting, but then once they get to the backstory, it's basically an ordinary 15-year-old doing ordinary 15-year-old things for about half the book. And that is really, really boring. I mean, pretty much nothing of any real interest happens. The whole thing is just way, way too slow. And it takes way too long to get to the ending, where things start picking up and happening. And once it does get there, I have discovered I reached the point where I really didn't care anymore. And I just wanted the book to be over. And even then, the ending is also kind of, well, philosophical, which really didn't help my interest. And there's lots of other things I really didn't like either. Like, the boy seems at some points to have a weird obsession with some made-up comic book character that it sounds incredibly stupid. Like the cheesiest of cheesy Golden Age superheroes, only this isn't set in the 50s, so it would be, I'm guessing, Bronze Age at least. But it's just stupid. I guess the ending is kind of okay, but by that point I didn't really care anymore. I just did not like this book at all, and I really can't recommend it. I'm sure some people enjoyed it because I've noticed that it has quite a few 4 and 5-star reviews on Amazon, but I don't know why they liked it, because I can only give it 2 gas masks, and that's all I can do. Luckily, I'm reading other books that I know I like more, and hopefully I will have reviews up for them soon. Until then, goodbye and keep reading.
If you like this video, please click subscribe or watch some of my older videos. If you think the book I reviewed sounds interesting, buy a copy. There are always links to the Amazon store in the description for this book and any other books I mentioned. If you have any suggestions on other books I could read, or any other comments, queries, insults, or anything else you want to say, please feel free to mention it in the comments section.